Welcome to Indiana Basketball Weekly on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your co-host for Indiana Basketball Weekly, Mike Goodpaster. And right now, I would like to welcome in my two co-hosts. First up, 1981 national champion, member of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, Steve Risley. How you doing, Steve?
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm doing great tonight.
Really? That's all you're going to say? I was waiting for like a 3-minute diatribe about how you felt good and it was 75 degrees and sunny in sunny California. Next up, we got former Big Ten champion, Indiana Hoosier, Collin Hartman. How you doing, Collin?
Could be better. How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. And it's 30 degrees here, and we're supposed to get 6 inches of snow. So,
yeah,
Mike, if you're going to call, if you're going to list him as former Big Ten champion, you have to say 1981 national champion and 2-time Big Ten champion. Yeah. We won 2 Big Tens.
You know what, Steve? I don't have to do a damn thing I don't want to. And I'm already a little pissed tonight, and I don't need you running your mouth at me for trivial things that don't really matter. That brings us to the game. The Maryland Terrapins beat the Indiana Hoosiers 78-75. Indiana's second straight loss, dropping them to 12-4. What's your first thought on this game, Steve?
I think everybody in the world said it. It's definitely a tale of two halves. I got about a page and a half of notes on the first half. In the second half, I have one word written down. Shit. The second half. That's about it. I thought they came out and played very aggressively. Of their first 9 points they scored, 4 were layups, 1 3-pointer, and 3 free throws made. I don't think we've ever been 100% in the free throws in a game before ever. And, I mean, they were dominating. They were playing tremendous team defense. The help was tremendous. They were controlling Maryland. They were doing everything right. And I'm like, oh, Coach Miller's had a good week of coaching. And the players probably had a rough week of practice because they all of a sudden are paying attention to what we think that Coach Miller is going to bring to this program. And things are going great. And then at about the 15-minute mark, somehow we got into a little bit of foul trouble again, and we pulled some players and started flirting around with lineups a little bit. And we allowed Maryland to grab control of tempo of the game, and then all hell broke loose. And, you know, when we're controlling the tempo, we're selecting good shots. We're going to the hole. We're penetrating. We're getting the open guy. We're sharing the ball well. And all that went away when they allowed Maryland. You know, Maryland made the run, and they caught us and passed us, or got near us. And you know, we gave up control of the tempo. That's my initial thoughts on the first half.
My initial thoughts on the entire game, Collin, are this. When you look at this, Indiana wins this game everywhere but one spot that I find, and that's offensive rebounds. They got out-rebounded 18-3. And, you know, there's junior high teams that could have pulled down 3 rebounds by accident.
Total rebounds was 42-25.
That was the thing that struck me the most. And it's not, I mean, offensive rebounding and rebounding in general is, and Steve, you can back this up from playing, not that Mike can't, but rebounding in general leads to so many things, whether it be offensive rebounding or defensive rebounding. Defensive rebounding means they didn't make a shot, first and foremost, and then you're getting out and getting in a break. They had, I don't know how many fast break points, Steve, if you can look that up for me. Fast break points, advanced passes, easy looks and transitions for the driving kicks. And then offensive rebounding, I think that's how that's how Collin got majority of his points tonight, was offensive rebound kicks, being out of position on scramble situations. It compounds, and it's draining as a defense. You play defense for 15 to the end of the shot clock, and they get an offensive rebound, and you have to do it again, and then they hit a shot. It's draining as a player to play 2 continuous possessions back to back. And that translates to the offensive end, and it translates into the whole game to where guys get lazy, they get tired and fatigued, and it compounds to where you get results like you saw tonight into a second half where Maryland, and even the end of the first half, quite candidly, where a team gets rolling with offensive rebounds and fast break points, and they put you on your heels in every facet of the game, it's hard to recover from that because you're tired, have trouble, your offensive mindset's taken because you're all focused, we can't even get a stop. How are we going to get a bucket? It's compounding and is draining for a basketball player.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say is I was listening to the game on Fox Sports, and they made a comment with about 2 minutes ago in the first half that they had not had an offensive rebound put back in until about 2 minutes ago in the first half. So they did all the damage with that pretty much in the second half. We were playing defense with our bodies in the first half, which is what you got to do. You know that. You can't play defense with your hands. You play defense with your feet and your bodies, and we were doing that well in the first half. We were getting in front of people. We were cutting off picks. We were stepping out on them and then rolling back for a man real quick. In the second half, we came out, and we made a great play at the beginning of the second half, a great pick and roll, got a great easy bucket. I thought, okay, we're going to get back in control of this. And then we went down the other end and just started going back to what we've been doing is playing your own man and playing defense with your hands. And then just absolutely still no block out. But because they were playing with their bodies more in the first half, I felt that, that they were getting in better position to get the rebound. Second half, we were just standing around again, and their athleticism was just jumping over us or busting through us to get the rebounds.
Man, Steve, the thing that stands out to me is when I look at this, the starters all seem, at least point-wise, to have done something. You had 3 guys in double digits. You had 2 guys at 8. The problem I see here is there's nothing off the bench. There's 2 points both in East, and that was it.
Davis looked like he limped badly. I don't even know why they even had him in the game. He could hardly get up and down the court. I mean, if he's hurt that bad, you don't need to play him. Fissner has just vaporized. He's I don't know what his role is out there anymore. He's a 6'9", 6'10" guy who
wants to shoot a 3.
Doesn't play inside, and now he's not looking for a shot anymore. Remind me of some guy number 30 that played last season year would just go on the court and not look for a shot, and I would scream bloody murder. My wife would tell me to quit swearing because number 30 is going through the lane and not looking for a shot. When I know how good a shooter number 30 was. Not gonna name names,
wait a
Collin.
second. There's a difference.
That's okay.
Hey, there's a difference here, and not just because he's here, but Collin did other things to help this team. Fissner can't.
Exactly.
Fissner's soft.
I'm sorry.
Exactly he got 3 fouls, and all 3 fouls were weak-ass body fouls. Where if you're going to get a foul, you might as well make it count. So
right.
Fissner brings nothing to this team other than the ability to shoot the ball, but he can't create his own shot. And let's face it, when you got Langford and Morgan on the court, why are you trying to create a shot for him?
One of the positives that stood out to me was Romeo he makes big shots. He makes hard shots. He finishes around the rim. That is the highlight of tonight. One of the highlights of tonight, definitely Romeo, the way that he scored the ball.
Well, what Romeo and Juwan Morgan are going to have to understand is that they're the 2 primary scorers of this basketball team, and they've got to play like that for the entire time they're in the game, the entire 40 minutes if that's what they play. They can't just come in, and Romeo really was kind of a shell the first half. I mean, he was there and made some plays, but he starts lighting it up when they get to about 5, 6, 7 minutes to go in the game, and we're down 10 now. Then he takes over the game. Romeo's going to have to understand with the skill sets and talent that he has, he's got to do that from the onset and go. And if he gets tired, put your hand up and say, I need a breather and a glass of water. Let me get a sip, and then get me back in the game. Juwan, I can't think of one real play he made late in the second half. Did he make one?
No.
I was trying to think of.
To me, it looked like he was watching Romeo take over.
Yeah, he'd sit around and you think you can't have those 2 guys do that now. You cannot do that. Romeo's got to understand that if the game's 40 minutes long, if you're going to get 35 of those 40 minutes, you got to play like Romeo for 35 minutes, not just the last 8 or 9. And Juwan's got to understand the same thing, that if you're the star of this basketball team and this is your team, then if you're going to get 30 to 35 minutes, you got to play like that for 30 to 35 minutes. If you get tired, like I said, put your hand up. Say, Coach, I need a break. And I'm sure Miller will set him down for a couple minutes, let him foul off. let them get a breather, give them a Gatorade full of water or whatever they drink, and put them back in. But it kind of was, when Romeo took over, he brought us back into the game single-handedly because everybody else has vanished.
Yep.
Yeah, first half I thought IU's shot selection was really good. I loved Miller on the bench. He was as animated as I'd ever seen him. I mean, he was vocal, which is, and maybe that's just not his style. I get it. But to me, the big thing is that we lost control of tempo of the game. We let Maryland start controlling the tempo in the second half, and once we did that, we just got out of sorts.
Yeah, but isn't that from the offensive rebounds more than anything else? That's how you get out of tempo because they've really got control of it then.
Yeah, I guess when they get out, they do it, and they start scoring off the offensive rebounds, and then you turn around, and then we come and want to fast break them back, and we're just helter-skelter fast breaking and not doing our controlled fast break, or just coming down and do what we do best is get into our offense, work the ball. That's why we shoot 50%. Heck, we shot 49% for the game, and they only shot 43%. Almost in every statistic except rebounding, we beat them.
Yeah.
And we only had 7 turnovers. They had 9. We shot 49% from the 2-point, 41% from the 3-point. They shot 41% and 32%. We were actually, no kidding, we were actually free throws, 16 of 16. We were 100% from the free throw line tonight. We did not miss a free throw. But glaringly, what killed them here is 3 offensive rebounds, only 22 defensive rebounds. They had 18 offensive rebounds and 24 defensive rebounds. I mean, it goes back into blocking out and things like that. And I just felt they reverted back to the way they had been playing. But the first half was so encouraging and promising. I'm thinking, wow, we're going to have a really fun show. My joke was going to be this. I was pissed off about this in the first half. I don't really like guys wearing tattoos. That was going to be my only complaint.
I don't think you wear a tattoo.
Yeah, I don't think you do either.
I don't think you can take it off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Whatever you do with a tattoo, it was going to be the joke.
Well,
but then, I thought, okay, I have nothing to complain.
So.
In other words, I had nothing to complain about in the first half.
I do.
Nothing at all. I mean,
I would have because I think they started to lose control of the game at the last 5 or 6 minutes of that first half.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that it just kind of snowballed from there. And I think it's something where, as a coach at halftime, you got to put a stop to that. It wasn't. And my concern is this, Collin. At some point, we need to be able to beat a good team on the road.
I mean, you're going to have to be competitive. In the Big Ten and be in the tournament. I mean, yes, you're not playing at other teams' home courts, but you're not playing in Assembly Hall come tournament time. So, I mean, it's frustrating to see a team make the correction at the beginning of the game, which everybody who's an IU fan knows that's been their problem, was being able to start fast in the game. For that team to come out and start fast, start aggressive, to give it away, not bury a team, not step on their throat and finish the job in the first half like they should have, is frustrating. And I know it's frustrating for Coach Miller. I know you guys saw it. They did a clip of him during timeout. They did a clip. They kind of zoomed in on him when the refs called a foul at the half court line, and super far away from the basket, and I mean he was cussing at him and everything. It's just he's frustrated, and it's frustrating to see them make that correction, which they needed to do, and not play the way that they normally play in all of these other games. Quite candidly, we've been wanting them to start faster. I would rather them win games, start slow, and finish strong, and win games than start strong and play terrible at the end. Not that they played terrible at the end, but they lost the game in the first half at the end of the first half because all momentum shifted.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd rather them win games but play terrible to start. I don't care. As long as you can dig yourself out of that hole, I don't agree with it because you're not going to be able to dig yourself out of that hole on the road. You're not.
Yeah, especially when you play.
Collin, let me ask you a question. Things are going around smoothly. We're cruising. We're playing well. He's got the 5 starters in. I believe at the time, at about maybe the first 5 minutes, something like that, he's our leading scorer at the time is Devontae Green, and he pulls him. He takes him out. I think he puts Finney in, which, I'd probably, having been out 3 weeks, probably work Finney in a little bit softer into the game, let him come in a little bit later and just let him get some minutes when it's not as crucial. But when you're building a lead like that and trying to establish, tempo and momentum, but then he just, for no reason, he pulls Devontae, who's our leading scorer. I think he scored 6 points, 6 of our 11 points, something like that, when they pulled him. I made a note of it.
When did they pull him?
About 5 minutes into the game. I'm like, why is it even subbing right now? Run these guys. I mean, they're 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. They can play 40 minutes if they have to. They're not going to have to, but gee, many Christmas, 5 minutes in. And Devontae hadn't screwed anything up. I mean, he ended up with 0 turnovers in the game. He ended up with, 15 points. He was the second leading scorer in the game. Of course, he drills the 3 at the end of the game. But I don't understand why he pulled him. And then I think he took out Smith or Durham, one of the two. And I'm thinking, why are you screwing with this lineup right now? These guys can't be tired yet. I mean, run these guys. Let them play. I mean, they're getting it done for you. And then it started chipping away at things a little bit. And then, he puts Pfister in. And then, Finney comes in. And Finney does what? He makes 2 free throws. Doesn't even take a shot. 0 steals, 2 assists, 3 personal fouls. You got Devontae. I just think I question the subbing has probably started the downslide a little bit because the 5 guys that were playing, I thought were playing great.
Right.
Collin, what's your thought? It almost seems like you never played at Hamilton Southeastern, but the coach where my son played high school basketball actually had these index cards where he had times, no matter what was happening, he was going to pull kids. And there was a time, one game where my son, I think it scored like the first 10 points of the game. And at the 7 minute or 6 minute mark, Ross came out. And it's like, wait, the kid's on fire. Why are you taking him out of the game? And Ross was always the first player to come out of the game. But he had these index cards that no matter what was happening, he had a time when he was going to – it's like, I have to play people because I've got to keep all the parents happy. I mean, that's a bigger thing in high school. But I just didn't understand why he was yanking players.
I don't know, maybe to get him a quick breather to get him rolling for the rest of the half. But obviously
after 5 minutes into the game, when you're cruising, it's not a run and gun game. Really, Collin? You think they're that out of shape? I would think Finney would be more out of shape than anybody.
Well, I agree. I mean, it's part of trying to get Finney back into the rotation, I think.
Okay, well, that was the start of the slide.
I agree. I mean, I don't have any debate with you. I just don't have an answer because at the end of the day, it's just I'm not there every day. I'm not. That would be my only speculation is that get guys a quick breather because I guarantee you Devontae came back in really quick, and to get him back in to finish the half. That would be my only speculation.
Yeah, and I'm not questioning Coach Miller at all. I'm just saying I know that when I was coaching in AAU ball and things like that, if I had guys playing well, that because you played some AAU games for me and played with me, and so did Zach. And if somebody was hot, I'd just let them play. Lauren Farber one time I think lit it up for like 7 3-pointers in the first 8 minutes against the game. Lawrence could play the whole game if he wants to. He keeps making threes. I'm not pulling him out. Let him go. Right. Why would I pull Lauren out? When he gets tired, he'll look at me and tell me he wants to come out. Then I'll set him down. Other than that, if he's drilling like that, let him play. So, that was always that was my mentality. There were games where you played the entire game when I was like, Collin's hot. Ride him. So,
right, and that's part of the thing is if we were hot during that time and we were playing well, then there's not a whole lot of risk of taking a guy out like that and getting him right back in a couple minutes just to get Rob's feet wet.
Right.
Get him acclimated. If we're playing as well as we are as a team, get one guy out, get a rotation, get guys' feet wet, and then get them right back in to finish the rest of the half. If you think about it that way, it's not a terrible thing. It just
right. My point is this. Let the opponents dictate when I break my lineup. If I'm playing that well, I'm going to make you beat me with what I've got before I change things up. I'm not going to change things up because me changing things up only benefited Maryland.
Right, I agree.
It didn't benefit us at all. It's like, you know what? I'm killing you right now. I'm gonna make you do something dramatic before I change my lineup. I'm going to bury you with these guys. And as soon as you do, I'll pull my guys and bench them and let them rest. But until then, you're going to have to make me pull these guys. That's just my mentality. That's all.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. So, Mike, what do you think? You're a coach. How did you substitute?
I don't believe in substitutions. I was serious.
You play a different sport.
If you are kicking somebody's ass, why do you change? I don't understand it.
Why do you change?
I mean, it's just, I watched this game tonight. They need another big down inside to help with the rebounding. But if you don't have that, and you get a 10, 12, 13-point lead, don't take your foot off their throat. Get it to 20 and then, give them a break for a minute. But even then, unless they're gassed and want to come out of the game, just keep doing it. I mean, because right now with Fittisi, he's coming back, so he wasn't going to play a lot. The bench isn't real long, especially when Davis gets hurt. Davis seems like he's hurt. And I had this question.
He's limping up down the court.
Yeah, I had the question from Chris Cook in Evansville. We were talking on the phone earlier this week, and he asked me what I thought it was with Davis. And I said, well, if it is Achilles injury and they're still not playing him, he plays less and less, it's probably still the Achilles that's bothering him because something like that can drag on forever. And I think right now you're to the point where you've got your 5 best players. You probably got about 2 guys off the bench that can play. I would see what Clifton Moore could do a little bit. I think that's a little bit bigger body who can run the floor and do some things maybe there. I don't think Fitzner should see the playing there. I don't think Fitzner should be back in the game. McRoberts
I
think defense, but he didn't give you. No, I don't think Fitzner should ever be in the game. If it's my team, I wouldn't let him play because I think he's soft. That's flat out. I don't care who hears it. I watch him play, Steve. He runs around the perimeter. He runs down inside. He'll bump into somebody and get a foul. He'll try to get his shot off, but he's too slow to get the shot off because everybody knows what he's doing, and I don't see the sense in it anymore.
Well, how you would use Fitzner would just be as a 2-minute sub coming in and out, and if you got to give somebody a break for 2 minutes, you stick a big body in who can score for you.
He can't, though. He can't score for you. When's the last time he scored?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't take any shot. I don't know. I can't tell you the last time he took a shot. He's turned into
put Anderson. What's the difference if it's a big body or not? Because he doesn't play like a big body.
Right. Do anything. Right. Exactly. Yeah. I tell you, in my day, there would be practice. Well, not tomorrow because we have a game on Monday. But as I got a break, there would be a Toughen Fitzner Up program put into place by my coach, where he would be doing loose ball drills, take the charge drills, one-on-one blockout drills until he got tough, or he walked away from the program.
Well, my guess
is that was in my day.
Program. So, and I mean, I hate to be mean.
That's why
I'm sure he's a great kid. He gets a great grade point average, but we want to win games, and you win games with mental toughness. And this team seems to lack that, especially when you bring the bench in.
When you're injured and you're counting on him to be productive because you only got really 3 subs, really, I mean, Davis, did anybody else notice Davis limping the whole time he was in the game?
Yeah. And I
think he barely get him down the court.
He still has problems with the Achilles.
Playing on one leg.
Yeah, he's still having problems with the Achilles.
It
could take forever to heal. But
yeah,
I just think the bench needs to be more aggressive than what they are. And we may be to the point where we like Devontae Green starting, but maybe we need, if Devontae's the guy coming off the bench, he gives you a little bit of a spark. And Fitzner doesn't give you a spark. Davis is injured. McRoberts, for some reason, doesn't give a spark. So you need a spark coming off the bench.
But Collin, do you think that once he's back in playing condition, that we'll probably see Devontae go back to the bench and be the sixth man, and Finney-Seal reassume his starting role? Is that right or wrong? Or you think Devontae just earned it now?
Well, I don't see any reason why Devontae wouldn't earn. Why Devontae has not earned it. I mean, he's played well in games. They haven't won.
Well, I don't either, but
I don't either. And I just don't expect that to happen, Colin.
Well,
I don't expect it either.
One of the big things that's going to play into this role is one of the things that we're not going to be able to see. That is practice. Practice is going to be a defining factor. And it's going to play a role just because there is a value put on that.
Mm-hmm.
There just is, and I think right now Devontae has that. I think Rob has to play his way in. Quite candidly, in my opinion, that's how I would play it. But I think that you definitely give Rob full opportunity, and you give full transparency to Devontae that there's no foot off the gas, there's no coasting, no anything like that. It is 100% up for grabs. But Rob, you have to work for it, and Devontae, you have to work for it. You're both at ground zero. Because while Rob, yes, you've played well in games, you've been out for a while, and while Devontae, yes, you played well in games lately, we have not been winning. So there's going to be competition there.
Sure.
Flat out.
That's a great point, Colin. That's a great point. He's been playing well, but we haven't won. It's just him starting for us, and we were winning with Rob there. So that's a great observation. Damn, you're smart. Pretty good for a kid your age. I'm impressed. I believe, and the first thing I wrote down in the notes I was taking during the game is, well, Miller's had a different week of practice because they came out so aggressive and under control and playing great team ball, and they were charging, going the hole, doing things they needed to do. They were playing aggressive defense. I mean, in the first half, they couldn't get they were getting second chance shots, but they couldn't make them. Then Indiana would scrap like heck under the board and somehow come out with the ball. So the encouraging thing about tonight is we started the game aggressively, and we didn't dig ourselves a hole at the beginning of the game. But we dug it at the end of the first half. And actually, we were the lead at the first half, weren't we?
Yeah, we were up by 8.
Yeah, we were up 8 points in the first. Yeah,
that's also a game where we started off up 9 2 minutes into the game. And my only concern
we were 9-0.
My only concern with this has nothing to do with any of that. It just looked to me like Maryland wanted to win the game more. Yeah. I mean, that's what this came down to.
We got comfortable with the way we started.
Yeah, and they kept fighting their asses off, and it ended up beating us.
That's what we normally do. We normally start off crappy, and we dig ourselves out of a hole, and we have that momentum, and we have the sense of urgency carried out throughout the end of the game. That's how we normally play. And I know that we've been wanting them to start faster and carry on through the whole game. I would, like I said earlier, I'd rather us start slow and have the sense of urgency that we have at the end of the game.
Well, really, Collin, you're probably not going to the Final Four either one of those ways. It has to be.
No, you're not.
If Duke's playing at Maryland and Duke's up 9-0, Duke's going to be up by 20 at halftime.
I agree.
And that's what worries me about this team. It's just simply toughness. And
burying teams is the thing that we're lacking. Just burying them, no mercy, foot on the throat, finish the job. It's that simple. No mercy.
It looks like a team that's trying to do just enough to win the game.
Just win. That's all we got. Just win.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold judgment on that because this is the first time Indiana's been up 9-0 in a game of any consequence of this season.
Well,
so I'm not going to judge it all just based on one game.
On it, but you're the one that's complained about rebounding all year long.
No, I did complain about it. And
okay, what is rebounding? What is rebounding? Rebounding is who wants it the most, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
but you can hold judgment all you want. But you're also the same guy that complained about the schedule they've played and how it did not prepare them for this. If I was you, I would stick with that
No.
because it looks correct right now. But I'm telling you this, they could play the top 10 teams in the country 10 straight games, and I'm still afraid that this would be a problem. Because to me, if this team continues to play like this, they're probably going to go 500 in the Big Ten, maybe a little bit above 500. They're going to be a 9 or 10 seed, and everything's over by the first Saturday or Sunday of the tournament.
Yeah, it's too early for me to make that call. But,
I'm not making that call.
I see your point.
I said if it continues the way it is.
Things are right.
Yeah.
I think the discussion is going to be talked about tomorrow about finishing like you start. Okay, we got you to start now. Like I said, my concern with Romeo and Juwan, particularly because we lean on them to score for us, is they have to understand that they have to be playing like that the entire time they're in the game. And Indiana also has to learn that it has to play like they played the way they started the game tonight, the entire game, or they have to play like the way they finish every game. They can't just do it for half the game and expect to win in the Big Ten at least a 500 clip. Right, Collin?
Right, and one of the things that I'm curious about is if I'm not questioning it from the coaching staff. I'm just curious as if the older players are conveying the message of you have to play your best every single night in the Big Ten to have a chance to win. Every single night. And that's one thing is like when we get up and we start coasting as if, this is kind of easy. This feels good. We're winning. But it's not going to stop, especially on the road. Especially, in an environment, Steve, you've never played in it, an environment like Maryland. Maybe you did. An environment like Maryland, it can get rocking. That place can get going like crazy. YouTube it. YouTube Maryland basketball fan section. It can get rocking in there. So it's just, there is no easy cakewalk guaranteed win. There's just not. I wonder if that's a message that's being conveyed to the whole team and to the guys from the guys that have played in those environments before.
Yeah, well, the culture in my period was you either play hard or you sit. And I'll just put anybody else in that's going to play hard. The player going in knew that he better play hard or he was going to be sitting. And if you sat. Sometimes you sat for the rest of the game. If he was bad enough mood, he just forgot about you. He's going to prove his point that you're either going to play hard every minute you're in the game, or I'm not going to play. I'll put somebody else in who'll play hard. I don't care if you're better than him. But I win games by playing hard the entire time I want my team playing hard for 40 minutes in the basketball game. And that's why we won the majority of our games with a lot less talent than other teams that we had. So, and this team hasn't shown that yet, but I'm encouraged by the start. It's a tough loss. It's a game we should have won. But Maryland's very athletic. They were bigger than us inside. But if people are bigger than you,
Jesus.
If they're
Come
bigger,
on,
if
Steve.
they're bigger than you,
I expect more from you.
Okay,
Steve.
let me finish.
They're bigger than us. Who gives a damn? You're the one that's preached.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, if people are bigger than you, then you have to be fundamental.
Steve already said shit once, so I figured I got one too.
No, I said I wrote shit down on a piece of paper. I didn't say it.
There goes Steve.
I didn't say it. I said I wrote it down on a piece of paper.
That's an excuse, Steve.
All right. I'm just saying that if you're playing against teams that are bigger than you or stronger than you or what, you have to be more fundamentally sound throughout the entire course of the game, and you have to execute better at what you're doing and not rely on your talent if the talent that you're playing is bigger, stronger, and faster than you are. And you have to understand that you have to utilize your talent the entire time you're in the game. You can't just selectively turn it on when you all of a sudden realize we're in desperation mode now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think talent's as important as heart and toughness, and that's what I'm worried about right now. Well,
that was my point. Point.
Yeah, but your point was started off with, well, there's some teams that are bigger than us. Who cares?
Right, but we should have more heart. We should have more heart and toughness and be able to handle that.
Yeah,
we did that in my period.
How are you happy with this start if you're questioning their heart and their toughness?
But they started that way. They just didn't finish that way.
Well, I'm talking about the whole season. I want to see some people run into some people. When I grew up watching Indiana basketball, there weren't a whole lot of free layups given. And I want to watch a team that gets after it. I want to watch a team that gets after it for 40 minutes. I don't know why there's no bench, because there's 12 really good players on this team. And I don't know. And now I have full faith that Archie Miller will figure this out, and we'll be talking about a win streak again soon. But
I agree.
We're halfway through the season now. So I have full confidence he'll figure it out, but I am starting to worry.
Yeah.
That fair?
I'm not there yet.
So you're not
I'm
worried
not worried
at all?
yet.
I'm worried.
I'm not worried.
No, I'm
a little bit.
Got to win a road game.
I'm not worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried yet.
Well, put it like this. What are your guys' expectations for this team? What would be a successful season to you?
Top 3 or 4 in the Big Ten, easy.
What about the tournament?
Tournament, 316 at least.
Steve?
I agree with Collin. Top 3 or 4 in the Big Ten. Top 3 or 4 in the Big Ten, and be playing in the Sweet 16.
Okay. I'd like to win a national championship.
I think it's a realistic goal.
I think a national championship's a realistic goal.
Who wouldn't? Mike, that's a dumb comment. Who
But
wouldn't
that's
like
the
to win
freaking goal. This is the problem, though. This is what bothers me with Indiana basketball now. Up until the late 90s, that was the only thing people would be happy with. But now we're happy that we're 12-4. And I hate to sound old, but back in my day, 12-4 was the road game. Huh?
Steve played in there, right? He knows.
Steve knows, and anything less than a national championship was never considered a success, was it, Steve? And a Big Ten championship.
Winning the NIT was pretty cool, 79.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sure Coach Knight was thrilled about winning the NIT.
No, but if he said we're going to play it, let's win it. So we want it.
Okay. All right. I've had enough of this show for tonight. How about you guys?
I thought you were going somewhere different than show.
Yeah, I did too.
What?
Well,
I said a bad word twice.
So
all
Mike,
week I've said
Mike,
2 bad words, and they were defecation, which is not necessarily a bad word. It's a bodily function.
Do you have any breakdown for Nebraska? Anything we need to be worried about?
Yeah, our toughness. If we're tough, we'll win the game. If we're not, we won't. We're playing at home, so we should be tougher. I mean, there's no breakdown to me anymore. This is what it comes down to. The difference between great teams and good teams are that. You know? I mean, Duke has all the talent in the world. But in the end, they'll win a national championship if they're tough on top of it. Because we've seen a lot of Duke teams with a ton of talent and a lot of Kentucky teams with a lot of talent that don't get it done. And in the end, it's because they lose to a team that's tougher to them. My breakdown is this. Nebraska is a solid basketball team. We should beat them by 8 to 10 points at home. If we're playing them on the road, it's a scarier deal. But this is a team Indiana should beat. But we need to play well for 40 minutes. That would give me encouragement. And if Fitzner could just deck somebody, I'd shut up about him. So if he's listening, you knock out a Cornhusker, you're all right by me.
And I'm sure of all the radio shows that are going on right now and all the post-game scrap, Fitzner is listening to us.
I'm sure. Well, you know what? Outside of Don Fisher, what else is out there? We've heard all those other shows. We're better than all of them.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're tougher.
Yeah.
Collin's tougher. I don't know about you anymore, Risley, because you're getting a little old. But Collin's still tough. He may not shoot the ball, but he'll knock you on your ass if he has to.
Wow.
We can scrap if you want.
See? He's challenging you to a fight, Steve.
I don't make war, I make love.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you offering to Collin, or is that how you turn out the
No, I'm not. I know I've come to live in L.A., and it's a little different.
Yeah, you moved to L.A. I'll have to call Tia. Get Get your man, Tia. Get your man.
Oh, man.
In the end, I think it's a game that shows some glaring weaknesses, and we changed our thought process to it's not if we can, it's will we.
Yeah.
I think we've shown we can. It just becomes a process of will we do it. And I'm sorry, one of my family members has just come home because it's only 7:00 here. Oh. And you have to spend 2 hours in your state to drive 25 miles.
Make sure you clear the history on the Pornhub on your computer real quick.
Mike, you need to end the show now. It's going way too far out the line.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up because Collin says so, which means the old guys are getting a little crudgy here. But remember, you can hear us Monday night after the Indiana Hoosiers beat Nebraska. We'll be in a much better mood, and it'll be a much better show, we promise. All right, you can hear all of our shows on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, wherever you hear sports podcast, you'll find the grueling truth. So for Collin Hartman, Steve Risley.
Mike.
What? Jesus, what I forget? I almost got done. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to say anything, but I have a funny comment I can make, but I'm not going to.
We also will have a post-game write-up on our website tomorrow.
We should have it
being
tonight,
drafted right now. If it gets done tonight, we'll post it tonight. He's going to try and get it done tonight, but you won't post it tonight.
Yeah, I would if I had it. Then, I never have it right afterwards.
And then on Sunday we will have a pregame Nebraska write-up as well, which are very well done, very detailed, and gives you good insight as to what the intake of the game was and what we need to be doing at the next game and how we're going to match up against the opponents. And I think all of them to be posted have been very well done by our crack intern, Cole Hanna, who's a student at Indiana University in the sports media department. The what?
You call him a crack intern?
Yeah. We can't have Cole doing crack, especially if he's an intern.
At all, Mike.
Of course.
At all. You can't do crack at all.
No, you can if you normally get paid for doing it because then you have the money. But if you don't have the money, you can't do it. Now, if you're in L.A. with Steve, well, doing crack has an entirely different meaning. We're going to wrap the show up. We're done, Steve. Just stop. So, for Steve Risley, who's not going to say another word till we're done, Collin Hartman, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends say shit a lot.